I just want to have a short discussion on this topic. Hi, by the way. Anyway, the subject I want to discuss is obviously something that I brought up in other videos. Is like how when things get bad enough, obviously you will wipe yourself out in that way. If things get bad enough, things are just going to wisp you away and make you fall apart, and you won't have to experience any of the negative along the way. Things are bad enough, things will just instantly go away. You won't have to feel anymore. Obviously, you'll just die. Things get bad enough, you'll just die. You'll kill yourself, you'll just die. Things get bad enough, you'll have a heart attack, whatever biological function, whatever it may be, you'll be a victim of that function. And also, people understand is, do things have to be that bad? I don't think they have to be that bad, but they happen to be that bad. And in many cases, they happen to be a function. They have to be a function of a conscious existence of a person experiencing something consciously, and they're experiencing that as a process. It's more than anything. And this most of the time, this kind of thing is a process. It's nothing. It's not anything else. You're living through the process, and it's the matter of feeling the pain to begin with. Once you first say the ouch or to have a negative sensation, that's when it becomes an issue. We're not talking about things being bad enough. Bad enough is bad enough. Bad enough is one negative feeling. And at that point, that's not going to kill you. Obviously, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's not necessarily the case. Sometimes things get just so horribly handicap you so badly that you have to suffer a lot before you decide that maybe that choice is the valid choice to make or the reasonable choice to make. Some people are scared of death. They're making this constant decision, this cognitive decision, uncomfortable one that to choose to either live or die. But obviously, dying or killing yourself or whatever it may be is a scary process. It can be something that's very intimidating. You always feel like in the back of your mind that something can be accomplished unless you're just going in the heat of the moment. A lot of these things could go very badly and very poorly. But obviously, a lot of this is very relevant when it comes to the subject of this kind of stuff, because things can get bad very quickly, and at that point, you could say so. But once bad things go bad, that's a fundamental issue that we're talking about philosophically. Once things get bad, that's the issue. Since life is synonymous with that function, it works no other way other than to get us addicted and to rely on those tensions and those negatives to push us forward and to make us experience something, to experience relief or whatever it is, that tension. That's when you have a problem with life, and that's when I start discussing about pulling life from its roots and understanding that life is a very fundamental aspect of this issue that we're trying to deal with. That when it comes down to it, while fighting our little issues on planet Earth, like our little fun, like little silly issues that we fight on the surface, not really digging deep down with a shovel and seeing exactly what the root is and what the heart of the issue is. Yeah, you keep arguing, you're going to realize that life's just made of problems. People just seem to say, well, life's a problem, just get over it, that's life. We just, obviously, comfort, whatever reason they have to rationalize that. They don't want to accept it. They get used to it, whatever it may be. They're less sensitive. That doesn't mean it's not a zero-sum game. This means that they're less sensitive and they're not looking at life exactly the same way, even though they may have those feelings. And I think all of us have, to an extent, those feelings, regardless how much. Obviously, people have more, and that's undermining the people have more. But that's obviously another circumstance you have to consider. That some people are more sensitive, but I'm also saying that it's a process, and it's something that needs to be taken seriously. And since it's really the same thing, we need to look at the problem from its roots and realize how can we fix this problem from the roots, and if we can't fix it, how do we destroy it? If you can't fix something that has a fundamental issue and it's in the way, what you do is you destroy it. Um, if you have a tooth, if you can't fix the tooth that's rotting out of your mouth, you destroy it, or you pull the tooth out. You pull it from its roots. You pull the rotting plant out of the ground. You take care of the issue in the most efficient way as possible. And that's the biggest issue, and that's the biggest important thing, is you got to take care of the issue. And the issue is life, generally speaking, and it's one of those things that you got to consider. If you can't fix, you got to understand that there's only so much you can do to fix the issue. And that's exactly the point. So, the basic idea is there's a process to life. Obviously, it wouldn't be an issue if we weren't talking about it. It wouldn't be an issue if we weren't talking about it, but we are talking about it, so it is an issue. Obviously, people go through suffering. People acknowledge this stuff, saying about how these lives people wear as a badge of honor, like all the life events they go through and how they wanted to kill themselves. And the thing is, things didn't go so bad that they had to kill themselves. That doesn't mean things weren't bad enough. Maybe they didn't have a means. Maybe they tried to, but they didn't work out. Maybe there's a lot of circumstances surrounding that. But maybe sometimes you just can understand. It's just the process that counts. It's the fact that once you feel an ouch, that's the fundamental issue that we're dealing with. It's a zero-sum game, and we're functioning based on that philosophical understanding as opposed to personal anecdotal feelings of what we understand to be true or not true, or based on these feelings of the sensation or what's good or bad enough based on our personal subjective biases. But I would argue that we all have the same standards, it's just different things that cause those standards in a way. And there's different tolerances, there's different things like that, and so on and so forth. And arguably, if you're screaming the same, you're probably feeling a similar amount of pain. It's just a matter of what's causing that pain and how much it takes of that certain thing to cause that pain. So yes, it's a matter of those kinds of distinctions that you can make. But generally speaking, those things shouldn't be too important because it's a fundamental issue of philosophy. Understanding that kind of a concept. Now, philosophy is very important. But yeah, that's the basic issue. There's really nothing else to discuss on the subject. I mean, I've discussed this before. Bad enough will automatically kill you. It's not automatically kill you. Obviously, people suffer for long periods of time in beds, and hospital beds. They suffer an illness, a sickness, flu, some kind of disease. You still live through it, and sometimes you're forced to live through it, having diabetes, having depression, psychological issues, whatever it may be. There's obviously issues you have to deal with. And the issue, life is just based upon a bunch of issues, a whole box of issues. And there's nothing we could do about it. That's the way in the function of existence that we're living in, and there's only so much we can do to change that. We can't change that fundamental issue, and that's something that the issue is. That's a basic issue, fundamental problem. Anyway, yes, that's the main issue or problem. Bad enough is not going to automatically kill you. It's a process, philosophically understanding that once you have one negative, that's the issue to begin with. Understanding that and understanding what you can do with that and how you can change it, and then going to the bigger issues and understanding the intricacies of that argument. But also we can understand from personal anecdotal evidence that these things align, and you can almost make the connection right in the middle, so you can understand things a little more easy. So these things can be easily understood. So yes, there's a fundamental issue with that, but also from our own experiences, we can understand that that's not the case. Things are not just going to get bad enough that they kill you. It's a process of getting from okay, comfortable, to bad. We're not talking about bad enough because there has to be a process to get to bad enough, to make things bad enough, and that's the process we're talking about. So anyway, I don't think there's anything else to mention on this subject except that. So regardless of that, it's a process and it's philosophical, and understanding it's a zero-sum game to begin with. That's the fundamental issue to begin with. So anyway, that's all I have to say on the subject. And then if I have anything else to say, there's always another time, another video. So anyway, thank you. Until next time, bye.